Hello there. Today we're going to look at the ESV large print personal size Bible in genuine leather from Crossway. Now, when I first got this in the mail, this is through Amazon. If you look, there's some damage here. They mailed it in a bubble wrap. Okay, a bubble mailer, Amazon's bubble mailer. And it was dropped on the corner. You see it was dropped pretty hard. If you look, you can see that it creased this top corner from the pressure of it hitting, the force of it hitting the concrete or pavement or whatever, the bottom of the truck floor bed or whatever it is that it hit. You can see that it basically broke this box. And when we open it up, we will look at what damage it did to this Bible. I don't consider the damage major. This is a genuine leather Bible, and it will endure the damage that was done to it without any issues. So let's take a look at this Bible. It comes, as you saw, in a white clamshell type box, I guess you'd call that. It says the ESV large print personal size Bible features highly readable Bible text in a convenient format, combining 12-point type with line matching and quality materials. The ESV large print personal size Bible is perfect for all who want a readable and portable Bible that they can use in any setting. And this is absolutely a readable, portable Bible. It has 12-point type, a double column format, words of Christ in red, a concordance, and a lifetime guarantee. This is a very nice Bible. It is Smythe sewn. I was able to determine that by going on, I think it's christianbook.com, and looking at the specifications. Crossway does not say that. Crossway should be given a little bit more information on their Bibles, particularly the spine. That is something that most people are looking for now, because they've gotten wise to understanding that some Bibles are not a sewn binding, and a sewn binding is more durable. So Crossway, you're not going to see this, because I'm a little bitty guy that nobody's going to really take any advice from, but you should do something about that. So anyway, let's look at this Bible. Once again, a clamshell box. When you take the Bible out, it's a black genuine leather. This genuine leather is a bit stiff, but I assume it will wear in. But it's black. There's no Holy Bible or anything on the front. You have a nice tooled line all along the perimeter of the Bible. There's a ISBN printed on the back, so Thomas Nelson isn't the only people that do this. They're not the only company that does this. I see people complaining about that, and they're not the only one that does it. It says Holy Bible. You've got these lines that are, I guess, supposed to represent embossment, but from what I can tell, there isn't any embossment. These letters are just printed on it, but it says Holy Bible. You have the ESV symbol, which I think is really cool. English Standard Version and Crossway. And if you look, right there's the damage that was done when it was dropped. The leather is just creased, but you notice this edge is still nice and crisp. There's no damage to it or anything like that. This is a leather Bible. It will wear. That little wrinkle and a couple of years won't make a dime's worth of difference. You'll never realize that that was there all the time. It'll just be part of the breaking in and wearing in of this Bible. It's fairly thick, but you got to remember, and it's got good weight to it. But you have to remember, this is a 12-point type. This is, a lot of companies would call this not large print, but giant print. A lot of people are calling like 9-point now a large print, which it's blooming not. People, y'all need to start having some truth in advertising. A 9-point font is not large print. 8-point font is tiny print. That's a pet peeve of mine, because as I get older, the more I want a decent sized text. So when we look at this Bible, when we open it up, it's got a paste down liner, but this is a synthetic material. It's not just cardboard. They are cardboard backed, or cardstock rather, not cardboard. They're cardstock backed, but it has a vinyl covering on one side of it. If you open the Bible, you can begin to see where it's smiled some. Right there's your cloth, your thread. It has a presentation page on it. Marriages, births, adoptions. I'm sure we got deaths on the other side. Holy Bible. This paper I like. It's not super thick, but it's not really thin. I think it's good paper. I'm not a Bible paper connoisseur. I just know whether or not I think the paper is going to be suitable for me. ESV Bible, large print, personal size edition, English Standard Version, 2001 by Crossway. ESV Text Edition, 2016. It's printed in China. You have the table of contents, the books of the Bible in order. Then you have the books of the Bible in alphabetical order. You have the preface to the reader. This is the explanation of the translation and how they came about it. They show you the translation principles and the style of the translation. This tells you where the sources they translated from, their philosophy, the reason they chose to do things a certain way. There's a note in here about the cross-reference footnotes. It says, in addition to the numeric or textual footnotes, the New Testament portion of this edition of the ESV Bible includes two kinds of cross-reference notes. These are identified alphabetically and follow the numeric notes at the bottom of each page. These include direct quotations from the Old Testament. Indirect quotations and allusions are not included, and parallel passages in the four Gospels. These cross-references are included to help the reader understand the relationship of the New Testament to the Old Testament and the harmony of the Gospels in the New Testament. So anytime you are in a translation, a new translation, one that's new to you, you should read the preface to the reader so that you understand why they made the decisions they made concerning how they translated the text of the Bible. We get into the Old Testament, and that 12-point font is absolutely lovely, and the leading or the space between the lines is absolutely beautiful. The space between the text, just lovely. We see textual footnotes and things of that nature down here. I like how they single out certain passages that I don't know whether they feel that it's more poetic or what, but I really like the look of it. It breaks up the page and just it makes it beautiful. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Male and female created he them. Sorry. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. So when we go along in here, this is fairly plain as far. There's not a lot of adornment on this Bible. So I think this type of thing here really sets off the layout of this Bible, because it's almost, except for like the textual footnotes and things down here, there's not any commentary in this or anything like this. This is, in my opinion, a pure reader's Bible. So, beautiful. I want to get into the Psalms. Okay, Job is done in poetic style. That's lovely. The beginning of Job, when it begins to tell the story of Job, is in the regular standard layout. But then when we get, it looks like, to when Job begins to lament and to mourn and to cry out, then we see this layout again. And it looks as if it's continuing through most of Job. Let me see what it does toward the end of Job. Nothing except until, let's see, because I want to see how it deals with the restoration of Job's life, whether it stays in this prose type of thing or whether it goes back to the standard layout, just for curiosity. I just got this in. Yeah, okay, so yeah, when it closes out the story, it goes back to that. I like that. Then, of course, we see Psalms, the book of Psalms, Isaiah. Many portions of Isaiah are in that. Yeah, this is a beautiful layout, I think. It's clean. There's not a lot of stuff crammed in here. They've centered the text on the page well enough that you're not trying to do this number to see. I wonder what it does in here. Same in the very front of the book. That's my thumb binding is helping it. We're at Genesis 23 right now, 24 here, and it's holding really well. Proverbs, same type of prose. Isaiah, portions of that are going to be, because it's prophetic. These are the old prophets: Jeremiah, Isaiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel. Lovely. That's a beautiful layout. Be hard to fault that. I like the red letter. It's not pinkish. It's dark, but it's consistent. It's not super dark. It's not. There are some red letters that are almost to the dark shaded side, that you almost can't tell them apart from the black letter text, which that wouldn't bother me. I like black letter text, but if you're going to do red letter, it should be red. This is pretty good to me. But the paper is, I like the paper in this Bible. It is fairly thin, but it's not anywhere near as thin as, you don't see a whole lot of ghosting where there's no line matching. There's some, but there's always some. I have a 40 GSM, a Bible that has 40 GSM Bible paper in it. That's the weight of the paper. You're still going to see a little bit of ghosting in it. Lovely. Okay, so First Peter, let's see, Revelation. I'm trying to get past Revelation and into what's left. I think all they have in here is a concordance after, maybe some maps. I don't know. Well, no, there's some weights and measures. And this is, I believe, the last of Revelation. Yep. So then we have weights and measures and monetary units. I've said before, with monetary units especially, you can't really trust the monetary units in this or any other Bible, because the value of currency changes all the time. Also, things like measurements, some of the measurements in the Old Testament, they used the same name, but it depended on other factors whether or not they were the exact same measurement. So you have to be careful with things like cubits. There's a concordance, and I'm pretty sure, unless there's any maps in here, that's about it, is a concordance. Yeah, no maps, just some blank cardstock at the end, which is good. Yeah, that's it. So, and you can see where the paper's kind of crinkled here because it took that blow. That's not that big of a deal. But that's a really nice Bible. If I was going to carry a Bible around, if I had to travel or carry a Bible around, this would probably be one that I would take, or something in this size. I'm not really worried about the thickness of this Bible, the compact nature of it. For me, that would throw in a suitcase real easy. I could carry it around with me very simply, and it's beautiful. So that's it. The ESV large print personal size Bible in genuine leather from Crossway. Thanks for watching.